Which Bible translation should you get? It's really a personal choice. There are people that are devout one translation over another, and I can tell you from my own experience that reading multiple translations has helped me to understand better. Now, to give you context of where my background is, my grandpa is a devout Christian and has been for my whole life, and he is a strict King James only guy. And he is like the spiritual leader for my family and has been for a long time. And only recently, like within the last probably 2 years, did he soften his stance on this. So when I came to Christ several years ago, in my head, I was like, my whole life I've been taught like King James only, King James only. But if I'm honest, there was stuff I wasn't picking up. You know what I mean? And then I would see videos on YouTube and TikTok from teachers that would teach out of multiple translations, and they always seemed to track more than what I was picking up. There's really not a one-size-fits-all solution to this. I just want you to know where I'm coming from, where my background is, and why I've made the decisions I've made. Let's check out this chart here. On this axis, the higher you go up, the easier it is to read and understand. And on this axis, the more literal the translation is. Now you'll notice KJV is a fairly literal translation, but it's the lowest on like readability, how easy it is to understand. For me personally, I want to stick on this side, which is called formal equivalence, which is like a literal translation, as literal as possible. And then dynamic equivalence, like the stuff on this side, is they update it for more modern like metaphors and stuff, so it's easier to understand. You'll notice that the KJV is a very formal translation, but it's difficult to read, right? In fact, it's the most difficult to read out of everything listed here. The Bibles I currently own are KJV, CSB, and ESV Study Bible, and I have them for different reasons. I had a New King James, and someone told me that they only had the King James. They grew up in the same town I did with the same ideology that like King James is the only real translation. And he was like, I don't understand a lot of it. I don't understand. Most people have a 6th grade reading level or lower. So I personally, this is my own personal conviction, I feel like it's a disservice to people to have them trying to read the hardest Bible possible while they might not even be saved yet. Like you're putting a stumbling block in front of your brothers and sisters. The first 2 years I read the Bible, all I read was King James. And I took a lot out of it. But having said that, I was reading the Bible, every day. I wasn't reading like 70 chapters a day, but like every day I would wake up, I would read the Bible and have coffee. I enjoyed that. Is that going to be true for everybody? Is that going to be true for everybody? No. They're going to be like, I don't understand what's going on, and they're going to stop reading. So it makes way more sense to me to recommend the CSB, the New King James, the ESV, something like that, like a more modern translation. Is the King James a good translation? Yes, it's a great translation. But most people have a 6th grade reading level, so they don't know what it's saying. And you can say, well, they should pray about it and ask for the Holy Ghost and all this stuff. And I understand where you're coming from, but you're putting a stumbling block in front of your brothers and sisters. The only Bible on this side that I don't have currently is an NASB, and I plan on getting one. In no particular order, I would very strongly recommend this. And I know it looks rough. My dog ate the cover off of it. But not even because of the translation so much, but because each page kind of explains more or less verses, and it gives you fun facts and like maps of what's going on. It's just a really good resource. Is this my favorite translation? No, but this might be one of my favorite Bibles because of all of the additional facts that you get to learn. And if you're really wanting to learn, this is a great resource. I've been reading this version a lot lately, the CSB. I really like the modern language used and how it flows. If you're just looking for a Bible to read, I would strongly recommend the CSB. And this was the first Bible I ever received. It was given to me as a gift by my parents, but it looks like my grandparents' handwriting on it. So I think it was from them. This is still a good translation. Is it for everybody? No, I don't think so. I think if we go back to this chart, I would personally recommend staying on this side. The CSB is a really good translation for most modern English-speaking people. These other ones are great as well. If I can be so for real, I do not care what translation you read, as long as you are regularly in the scriptures, like 5 times a week or more. And it doesn't have to be 70 hours a day, but like you have to be informed about what's in the Bible, because if you're not, the world will inform you about what to believe. You will absolutely be deceived because what they say sounds good, but it is not sound doctrine. I love you all. Peace.